Kingdom Come Deliverance lead says Obsidian should use its Microsoft fortune to make games more like Kingdom Come Deliverance. The fucking lead of Kingdom Come Deliverance said this? I agree! Like, I agree. That is based as hell. Dude, he's like, we know we made a bomb-ass game, and this oh my god. What I find sad is the company and the people who gave us one of my favorite games ever, Fallout New Vegas, have been unable, even after 15 years and with all Microsoft's money and latest technological advances, to come up with a single new game mechanic that could take this proven but ancient formula somewhere new. Can any of you think of a single new game mechanic in the Outer Worlds that wasn't already in Deus Ex or the original Fallout games more than 25 years ago? Unfortunately, I can't. Give me a living, simulated world. True non-linearity. Give me something more than loot boxes, maintenance shafts, loading screens, and level grinding in a static, scripted world. Dude, I want to be able to have this amount of eloquency. The ability to put these words together and actually give this take coherently. Oh my god. It's so true! Especially for it to come from the lead of another RPG that I think just made a better RPG. It's basically like, all right, sit down, little gup, because Obsidian's not gonna listen to whoever's talking in the ether of a YouTube comment saying this, but when the game developer lead of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 says it, they have to listen. It's not just hating, it's constructive. Basically, your peers, your co-workers of a sense, people who are doing the same thing that you are doing, saying, this just ain't it. We need to let game devs know this shit. It's not okay to make mid games anymore. I saw this take, somebody said, a game doesn't always have to be a masterpiece. Not every game can be a masterpiece. True. I'm not saying every game has to be a masterpiece, but in a world of Kingdom Comes and Baldur's Gate 3s, Expedition 33s, to not strive for that, I think trying to do something and failing is okay. But I think that making a mid game, not even trying to do something more, to push forward, to innovate, is awful. It sounds very harsh. I think they should be ashamed. You're going to spend millions of dollars and like 7 years of your life making this game for it to come out and not be amazing? What are you doing? Outer Worlds 2 is just not good enough to hold up against them. They're just not. They don't stand in the same, they're not in the same line. They are not in the same tier. And to think so is wrong. It's simply wrong. It's not okay for Obsidian to just make mid games, because they have resources to do more. And with that comes responsibility to make great art, rather than the next mid game that people will forget in a week. Meanwhile, the Claire Obscure team is full of people who have never made games before, who were this literally their first time ever even being in a studio or making a game or being a part of a game, or like with a budget of a bag of potato chips and a sody pop, making one of the greatest pieces of art of this generation. And this team, who has made RPGs in the past that are great, and just many games, cannot even hold a candle to a bunch of random people making a game for the very first time. They downgraded. If this was their first RPG ever made from a company who has never made an RPG before, I'd be like, all right, a little bit of a miss, but we can go up from here, right? But this is a long-standing AAA company that has made many games, and they make this back-to-back, Outer Worlds 1 and 2, just completely mid RPGs. They didn't really try to make something as good as something that they've made before. Fallout New Vegas, they're not bad games. They're just not good enough to hold a candle to the really good ones. I enjoyed this more than Fallout New Vegas. Okay, that's what I think a lot of people get confused with, is that just because you like it doesn't mean it's good. And I've always thought this, and I also like things that are just not very good, and I will accept that and like say it too, and say, yeah, no, I really like this and it's not that great, and I know that. And I can criticize it, and I can listen to other people criticize it and say, you know, true, factual, yeah. I fucking love Kingdom Hearts. people will shit on Kingdom Hearts all day long, and I'll be like, yeah, you're right. Like, there's problems with it, and it's a lot of issues. Hey, I know the story. Yeah, I get it. Mickey Mouse, sure, Disney, whatever. I love it. That doesn't make it the greatest, though. They did upgrade it over Outer Worlds 1, though. Oh boy, dude, they upgraded like the flaw system. Yo, I'm still literally crawling through vents, just like he says. I'm shooting the same robots, I'm shooting the same humans, I'm going through the same linear world. It's just not enough. The standards are too high. Veilguard tried, Veilguard did not try. Veilguard literally was a guy in a suit going, hey, my kid loves Fortnite. Make Dragon Age Fortnite for money. I want more money and I want to get a 6th yacht this year. Make Dragon Age Fortnite. And they did. And it's awful. It's horrible. And nobody freaking likes it. Nobody likes Veilguard. Starfield was the same way. Starfield was infinitely more disappointing because it was advertised as like Todd's like baby. Like, he's been wanting to make this game for his entire life, and he's wanted nothing more than to make Starfield, and they hyped it up so much, and then when it came out, it was just a big fart. It was the most disappointing game release. There was I saw a Twitter post, hey, what was the most disappointing game release that you can think of in recent years? And the top comment was Starfield. That's what it is. It's just disappointing. Any game taking Cyberpunk off that mantle is crazy to me, even Starfield. Wait, you think Cyberpunk was more disappointing than Starfield? I think Cyberpunk at launch, sure. For sure, Cyberpunk at launch was incredibly disappointing. But now it's better. Cyberpunk was a sea of lies. Starfield just sucked. Sure, the thing is they lied and they said that things were going to be in the game and then they weren't, but then they added them and then they made it better. They apologized, they fixed the game, and they righted their wrong. You can't right the wrong of your game just being bad. Because Cyberpunk wasn't bad. Has Todd said anything about Starfield being disappointing, like how CPR did for Cyberpunk? I think this is another problem. Like, devs aren't getting feedback like this, and they all just shrug it off as hate and will talk about the hate that they get rather than addressing the problems of whatever they're doing is. They will kind of like place a blanket over all of the criticism they get and focus only on the amount of hate that they get for their game being horrible. They don't deserve to have such egregious amount of hate, like where people will go nuclear and like threaten them and say that they should die and etc. All these things. That's just too far. But address the problem here. Valid criticisms getting buried by just giga hatred, and then they don't address it at all. I love games, and which is why I focus and I keep talking about the problems in Borderlands and Starfield and Outer Worlds and other games where I come off as a hater, but it's only because I'm just trying to address the problems and not gloss over it and have like rose-colored glasses and say, oh, everything's fine, I just love this thing and it's great, no hate here. Cyberpunk was good at launch, just too buggy. I'm gonna be toxic. I'm sorry. So this is basically like a litmus test on what kind of like media comprehension that you are capable of. Cyberpunk wasn't just buggy, and I think a lot of people, most people, just said Cyberpunk was just buggy and that's what made it bad. No, it was a failed RPG, and it almost kind of still is. The bugs were a lot, but that's not like, I don't even think that's the main reason that Cyberpunk was disappointing. Cyberpunk, in the first 4 hours of the game, shows you that your choices will matter, that the world will react to you, and the potential of a real, like, Cyberpunk RPG. It tells you all of that, and it's a big fucking lie. Everything after that first 4 hours is a completely different game. It is a good game now, after all of the updates, but it is still not the RPG that they promised. Cyberpunk was just a few steps removed from being a damn crypto scam. That launch was an absolute bait and switch. CDPR has since redeemed themselves, so much so that I think people forget the absolute disgraceful launch state of the game. True. And it's like, yeah, focus on the positive, sure. But I think people move on from mistakes like that. The devs redeemed themselves so well that people forget how big of a shit show it was. That should be praised. A good deed does not wash out the bad, nor a bad the good. My boy Stannis Baratheon said that. Or was it Melisandre? One of those two. It was Stannis. Yeah, but he was an idiot and he burned his own daughter. Bro, he was being manipulated by a woman. We've all been there.